Hello and welcome to Mastermind with me, Clive Myrie. In the spotlight tonight are Matthew Cochrane, a retired lecturer whose specialist subject is British and Irish women astronomers. Sally Moore, a research placements manager who will be answering questions on White House pets. Susan Llewellyn, a nurse whose subject is Edith Cavell, and Martin McCann, a youth justice conference coordinator whose specialist subject is one of the big three cycling races, La Vuelta a España. Our contenders wait patiently in the wings, quiet, unassuming. You can hear a pin drop. But as soon as that clock is set and the countdown begins, they will, like peacocks, reveal a dazzling display of memory and knowledge. Well, that's the plan. You see, the black chair, the nerves can cause malfunctions. What was so obvious before ends up lost in a haze of doubt. But one thing our merry band of contenders tonight can be sure of is that we all wish them well. 2 minutes on their specialist subject and 2.5 minutes on general knowledge are coming up, so let's ask our first contender to join us, please. Your name?
Matthew Cochrane.
Your occupation?
Retired lecturer.
And your specialist subject?
British and Irish women astronomers.
The women who've explored the night sky and helped us all understand our place in the universe. In 2 minutes, starting now, the wife of the first astronomer royal, John Flamsteed, assisted him in his observations and saw to the publication of his star catalogues and atlas after his death. What was her first name?
Margaret.
Yes, in 1835, Maria Short opened Short's Popular Observatory, a public observatory in which city?
Edinburgh.
Yes, in 1828, which astronomer became the first woman to be awarded the Royal Astronomical Society's Gold Medal for her work on nebulae and star clusters?
Margaret Huggins.
No, Caroline Herschel. One of the first research papers written by a woman to be published by the Royal Society was Mary Somerville's 1826 work on the magnetizing properties of the more refrangible what?
Ultraviolet rays.
No, solar rays. Which entrepreneur who ran a nautical academy in London wrote numerous books, including the 1842 Epitome of Navigation and Nautical Astronomy?
Janet Taylor.
Yes, in her 1859 book, The Telescope, Mary Ward included a series of sketches that showed the various positions in the night sky of which comet that had been visible in October the previous year.
Donatis.
Yes, Jocelyn Bell Burnell discovered pulsars as a PhD student and initially called the signal she found LGM-1. The letters LGM standing for what?
Little green men.
Yes, in 1890, the Royal Observatory employed women in a professional scientific capacity for the first time, offering roles with what job title?
Computer.
Yes, Lady Computer. Which solar physicist has been a presenter of The Sky at Night and was appointed the chief stargazer at the Society for Popular Astronomy?
Heather Cooper.
No, Lucy Green. In the 1850s, one of the first people to photograph the moon was Teresa Llewellyn, who had her own observatory in which village in South Wales?
Penllagher.
Yes. What was the name of the author of A Popular History of Astronomy during the 19th century, who also contributed some 30 biographies of astronomers to the 1911 edition of Encyclopedia Britannica?
Agnes Clark.
Yes. Bella Gill travelled with her husband to which island in 1877, where they studied the opposition of Mars in autumn that year?
Tenerife.
No, it was Ascension Island. And Matthew, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, 8 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. Your name?
Sally Moore.
Your occupation?
Research Placements Manager.
And your specialist subject?
White House pets.
The animals belonging to US presidents and their families. In 2 minutes, starting now. What breed of dog were Bo and Sonny, the pets in the Obama White House?
Portuguese water dogs.
Yes, which president had a singing parrot named Washington Post that he claimed could complete almost any ordinary song I'd hum, sing or whistle, including Yankee Doodle and America?
William McKinley.
Yes, what animal later named Josiah was given to Theodore Roosevelt by a 12-year-old girl named Pearl Gorsuch on a visit to Sharon Springs in Kansas?
Badger.
Yes, what name did James Garfield give his black Newfoundland dog, reportedly as a reminder to Congress that he might not sign all of the bills they passed?
Veto.
Yes, what was the name of the ram that formed part of Woodrow Wilson's flock of sheep on the White House lawn and was famous for chewing tobacco?
Old Ike.
Yes, Margaret Truman had an Irish setter named Mike that was fed so many unhealthy treats by White House staff that it developed what medical condition?
Ricketts.
Yes, in 1962, during a state visit, Jacqueline Kennedy received the gift of Sardar, a 10-year-old bay gelding horse from the president of which country?
Pakistan.
Yes, which interior designer, married to a descendant of a former US president, designed a lavish doghouse, a replica of the White House for the Reagan's pet dog Rex?
Theo Hayes.
Yes, the Hungarian jazz musician Gabor Szabo composed a piece of music named after a Siamese cat that lived in the Carter White House. What was its title?
Misty Malaki Yin Yang.
Yes, which president shipped a canary by steamboat and carriage from Virginia as a mate for his existing canary, only to find that both birds were male?
Rutherford Hayes.
No, John Tyler. George W. Bush's English Springer Spaniel, Spot Fetcher, affectionately known as Spotty, was the offspring of which dog that belonged to George Bush Sr.?
Millie.
Yes, what animals did Thomas Jefferson keep in a cage on public view on the front lawn of the White House for 2 months before they were donated to a natural history museum in Philadelphia?
Bears.
Yes, Theodore Roosevelt's daughter Alice kept snakes and was particularly fond of a green garter snake named Emily what?
Spinach.
Yes, what was the name of the White House veterinary surgeon, I've started so I'll finish, who gave a home to Eleanor Roosevelt's Scottish Terrier Meggie after she bit one too many visitors?
Probert.
No, Dr. David E. Buckingham. And Sally, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've scored 12 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. Your name,
Susan Llewellyn,
your occupation,
nurse.
and your specialist subject.
Edith Cavell,
The celebrated British nurse born in 1865, in 2 minutes, starting now. In 1895, when the 30-year-old former governess, Edith Cavell, decided to enter nursing, she began working in which hospital in Tooting?
Fountains Fever Hospital.
Yes, what was the name of the matron at the London hospital who offered Cavell a place as a probationer nurse in 1896?
Eva Lux.
Yes. When an epidemic began in Maidstone in 1897, Eva Lux sent Cavell, together with 5 other nurses from the London hospital, to help in the emergency. What disease were they fighting?
Typhoid.
Yes. Which eminent Brussels surgeon recruited Cavell to be the director of a new nurses training school that opened in the city in October 1907?
Antoine Depage.
Yes, in the First World War, Cavell joined a network centred on the Prince and Princess de Croix, which helped Allied soldiers escape from occupied Belgium. The network used what password adapted from the prince's name?
York.
Yes, one of the first men to be saved by Cavell was Colonel Dudley Boger, who had escaped from capture during the retreat from the Battle of Mons. To which regiment did he belong?
The 1st Cheshires.
Yes, the convent hospital from which Colonel Boger and several other soldiers escaped and were guided to Cavell's clinic was in which village?
Wearies.
Yes. What was the profession of Herman Capio, who was part of Cavell's trusted network and provided identities for the soldiers Cavell helped?
Engineer.
Yes. What was the name of the German officer of the secret police who led the search of the nursing school in June 1915?
Henry Pinkoff.
No, it was Otto Meyer. Who was the American minister at the US legation in Brussels who did not at first realize how serious Cavell's position was and who was too ill to appear on her behalf at the critical time?
Brand Whitlock.
Yes, on the 7th of August 1915, Cavell was taken to which prison where she was placed in solitary confinement?
St Giles.
Yes, Saint-Gilles. Cavell was sentenced to death by firing squad at dawn on the 12th of October 1915. Who was the Spanish diplomat who pleaded with the German military against her execution?
The Marquis de Villa-Lobar.
Yes, the Marquis de Villa-Lobar. And Susan, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've scored 11 points.
Thank you very much.
And our final contender, please. And your name?
Martin McCann,
Your occupation?
Youth Justice Conference Coordinator.
And your specialist subject?
La Vuelta a España.
Yeah, one of the 3 major European cycling races, along with the Tour de France and the Giro d'Italia. They're known as the Grand Tours. In 2 minutes, starting now, the Vuelta a España was co-founded by Juan Puyol, the director of which newspaper?
Informaciones.
Yes, at various points in the past, the overall leader's jersey in the Vuelta has been orange, white, yellow or gold. What colour was it changed to in 2010?
Red.
Yes, the opening stage of the first Vuelta in 1935 was won by which Belgian cyclist who ended the Tour in third place overall?
Antoine Degneff.
Yes, for most of the years from 1955 to 1970, the Vuelta finished not in Madrid, but in which city in northern Spain?
San Sebastian.
No, Bilbao. José Manuel Fuente, who was the 1972 and 74 La Vuelta overall winner, was known by what nickname that roughly translates from his native Asturian dialect as a man reputed for his strength and character?
Tarangaroo.
Close, it's Tarangu. Which German cyclist finished as runner-up in the Vuelta in both 1987 and 88, but was badly injured during the 1989 race in a crash in a poorly illuminated tunnel that ended his career?
Raymond Deitzen.
Yes, the first time the Vuelta started outside Spain was in 1997 when the race began in which city?
Lisbon.
Yes, in July 2019, Chris Froome was retrospectively named the winner of the 2011 Vuelta, when which Spaniard, the original winner, was stripped of the title after he was found to have used a banned substance.
Juan Jose Cobo.
Yes, stage 12 of the 1972 race saw the first ever summit finish to feature in the Vuelta when the stage ended in which ski resort in the Pyrenees?
Formigal.
Yes, the notoriously steep climb of the Ongliru, a mountain road in Asturias, first featured in the Vuelta in 1999. Which Spanish rider was the first to reach its summit that year?
Jimenez.
Yes, the 2019 Vuelta winner and former World Junior ski jump champion Primož Roglič, who rode for the Jumbo-Visma team, was the first cyclist from which country to win a Grand Tour?
Slovenia.
Yes, which Italian, who has won 4 Grand Tours in total, including the Vuelta in 2010, was disqualified from the 2015 race after he was seen to hold on to his team car for 5 seconds?
Vincenzo Nibali.
Yes, Vincenzo Nibali. And Martin, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 10 points. And at the end of the specialist subjects round, let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 8 points is Matthew. In 3rd place with 10 points is Martin. In 2nd place with 11 points is Susan. And in 1st place with 12 points is Sally. So now the general knowledge round, and if there's a tie at the end, then the number of passes is taken into account, and the person with the fewer passes is the winner. And if they're tied on passes as well, then it's a tie break. So let's ask Matthew to join us again, please. So Matthew, you start with 8 points. You've now got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Starting now, what Northern European nationality precedes the word pastry in an English name for a sweet baked item often filled with dried fruit or nuts?
Danish.
Yes, the jazz musicians Jack Teagarden, Chris Barber and J.J. Johnson were all virtuoso performers on what brass instrument?
Trumpet.
No, trombone. What's the first name of the actress who is the sister of the Easy Rider star Peter Fonda and the daughter of the Oscar-winning actor Henry Fonda?
Jane.
Yes, which South American country is bordered by Peru and Bolivia to the north and Argentina to the east?
Chile.
Yes, in 1904, a French journalist named Robert Guérin was a founder member and the first president of what sporting governing body?
Cycling.
No, FIFA, the gentoo native to Antarctic regions and distinguished by its bright orange bill, is a species of which flightless bird?
Penguin.
Yes, which Irish actor known for playing Jim Moriarty in the television series Sherlock won an Olivier Award for Best Actor in 2020 for his performance in the play Present Laughter?
Scott.
Andrew Scott, yes. What's the usual American term for the list of charges in a restaurant known in British English as the bill?
Menu.
No, the check. Caribou, Red Strikes Back and Wonderful Crazy Night are albums by which veteran British singer?
Pass.
Huntsman cheese consists of which cheese sandwich between layers of double Gloucester?
Cheddar.
No, Blue Stilton. What coin-operated device used to regulate the length of time that a vehicle may remain in a designated area was first installed in Oklahoma City in 1935?
Parking meter.
Yes. Rocinante was the half-starved, worn-out horse belonging to which 17th century Spanish literary character?
Don Quixote.
Yes. What Latin word meaning offspring is used in English for an unborn child at the stage of development from 8 weeks after conception until birth?
Fetus.
Yes, at the British Fashion Awards in 2010, which designer received a posthumous Outstanding Achievement Award after his death earlier that year?
Versace.
No, Alexander McQueen. Belgium, the Netherlands and Luxembourg form a union known by what name derived from the names of the three individual countries themselves?
Benelux.
Yes, what name is given to the security feature on paper banknotes in the form of a faint image that can be seen when held up to the light?
Watermark.
Yes, the Holy Roman Emperor Frederick I was given what name by the Italians that means red beard?
Barbarossa.
Yes, which American comedian was named by Forbes magazine as the highest-earning podcaster of 2019 with an estimated revenue of $30 million?
Pass.
I can tell you it's Joe Rogan. And you had one other pass. Sir Elton John is the veteran British singer whose albums were Caribou, Red Strikes Back and Wonderful Crazy Night. And at the end of that round, Matthew, you've got 19 points.
Thank you.
And next up, can we have Martin again, please? So, Martin, you start with 10 points. The score to beat as it stands is 19 points, and you've now got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Starting now, what nationality is used to describe the so-called wave seen in a stadium when successive sections of the crowd stand up, raise their arms, and then sit down again?
Mexican.
Yes, how many faces does a triangular prism have?
6.
No, 5. What plain sponge cake, usually flavoured with lemon, is named after a variety of Portuguese fortified wine with which it was traditionally eaten?
Madeira.
Yes. At the 2020 Grammys, which American singer became the first female artist to win the Big Four awards in the same year, and at 18 years old, the youngest solo act to win the prestigious Album of the Year award?
Billie Eilish.
Yes. Which sea separates Saudi Arabia and Yemen from the northeast coast of Africa?
Red Sea.
Yes. What's the stage name of the singer and author Deborah Dyer, a founding member of the rock band Skunk Anansie, who was honoured with an OBE in the 2021 Queen's Birthday Honours List?
Skin.
Yes. The 2005 book Strange Land is a memoir by which British artist?
David Hockney.
No, Tracy Emin. What name is given to the section of the UK Scouting movement for children aged 6 to 8 years old?
Beavers.
Yes, according to the title of the 1992 book by the American psychologist and author John Gray, men are from Mars, women are from where?
Venus.
Yes, the household cleaning product known as spirits of salt, used as a descaler and to unblock drains, has what acid as its main active ingredient?
Hydrochloric.
Yes, which film director, whose works include the 1970s dramas Badlands and Days of Heaven, returned from a 20-year hiatus with the Oscar-nominated 1998 war film The Thin Red Line?
Malick.
Yes, Terence Malick. In the human skeleton, the humerus forms which hinge joint where it meets the radius and the ulna?
Elbow.
Yes, what bird features in the title of a play by Anton Chekhov, first performed in 1896?
Firebird.
No, the seagull. What word from the Latin for sap or juice is used to describe plants that have thick, fleshy leaves suitable for storing water that usually grow in semi-arid climates?
Deciduous.
No, succulent. In Greek mythology, the Myrmidons were warriors from Thessaly who fought at the siege of Troy under the command of which Greek hero?
Ajax.
No, Achilles. What word for a person who is authorized to act on behalf of someone else is derived from the word procuration?
Procreator.
No, proxy. In a drum kit, a pair of cymbals mounted together and operated by a pedal is known by what name?
Hi-hat.
Yes, what daytime television talk show, first broadcast in 1999, I've started so I'll finish, features a varying roster of all-female panellists that has included Ruth Langsford, Kay Adams and Colleen Nolan, among many others?
Loose Women.
It is Loose Women. And Martin, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got a total of 22 points. Next up, it's Susan. So, Susan, you start with 11 points. The score to beat as it stands is 22 points. And you've got now 2.5 minutes of general knowledge questions, starting now. A Dundonian is a native or inhabitant of which Scottish city?
Dundee.
Yes, what creature was Reynard, the hero of a series of popular medieval folk tales who was noted for his cunning and his ability to outwit other, stronger animals?
A fox.
Yes, the top and bottom strings on a 6-string guitar in standard tuning are tuned to which note?
E.
Yes, in 2005, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf became the first woman to be elected head of state of which African country and served in the role from 2006 until 2018?
Nigeria.
No, Liberia. What band had UK hit singles in the 1970s with All Right Now, My Brother Jake and Wishing Well?
Slade.
No, Free. What name, the Turkish for appetizer, is given to a selection of hot and cold hors d'oeuvres served at the beginning of a dinner in Greek and Middle Eastern cuisine?
Metzes.
Yes. In 2020, the women's tennis tournament, the Fed Cup, was renamed in honour of which former player?
Navratilova.
No, Billie Jean King. Additional cover on a hire car insurance policy that limits the driver's liability in the event of an accident is often known as CDW, which stands for collision damage what?
Waiver.
Yes, the films Gladiator, American Gangster and The Martian were all directed by which British director?
Rose Giles.
No, Ridley Scott. Frederick Temple in 1896 and his son William Temple in 1942 were each appointed to what senior position in the Church of England?
Archbishop of Canterbury.
Yes, which actor, known for his sketch show Double Act with Les Dawson, together playing two elderly women called Sissy and Ada, went on to appear for many years in Coronation Street as the pub landlord Alec Gilroy?
Les Dennis.
No, Roy Barraclough. Which element has the atomic number 6 and the chemical symbol C?
Carbon.
Yes. What was the surname of the American art collector who set up a foundation in 1937 that now operates museums in New York, Venice and Bilbao?
Guggenheim.
Yes, a quantity defined as the ratio of an object's speed to the speed of sound in the same medium is named after an Austrian physicist with what surname?
Doppler.
No, Mac. Which stage musical with music by Andrew Lloyd Webber features the songs Angel of Music, All I Ask of You and Wishing You Were Somehow Here Again?
Sunset Boulevard.
No, The Phantom of the Opera. In the standard UK version of the board game Scrabble, the letters V and W each have a face value of how many points?
5.
No, 4. The shoulder-held M9 recoilless rocket launcher used by American soldiers during the Second World War is better known by what generic name?
Bazooka.
Yes. And Susan, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got a total of 20 points.
Thank you.
And finally, let's have Sally again, please. So, Sally, you start with 12 points. The score to beat to get through to the semi-finals is Martin's 22 points, and you've now got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Starting now, the two countries in the world with a population of more than 1 billion people are China and which other Asian country?
India.
Yes, in a poem by the American writer Clement Clark Moore, what type of creature are Dasher, Dancer, Prancer and Vixen?
Reindeer.
Yes, what 8-letter word, defined by Collins Dictionary as the imposition of stringent restrictions on travel, social interaction and access to public spaces, was chosen by them as their word of the year for 2020?
Lockdown.
Yes. What was the name of the American singer who won the Oscar for Best Original Song in 1972 for his theme from Shaft?
Isaac Hayes.
Yes. Myopia is a medical condition that affects which pair of organs?
Eyes.
Yes. In the name of a measurement of the heat content of fuels, the letters BTU stand for British what?
Pass.
The international airport 14 miles northeast of Paris, sometimes called Roissy Airport, is best known by what name?
Charles de Gaulle.
Yes. Between 2006 and 2018, which British rock band had 6 consecutive UK #1 albums, including Humbug, Suck It and See and AM?
The Killers.
No, the Arctic Monkeys. The edible seed pods of the okra plant, eaten as a vegetable, are sometimes known as ladies' what?
Fingers.
Yes. What's the title of the influential 1966 television play that starred Carol White as a young mother who is evicted from her flat and has her children taken into care?
Sophie's Choice.
No, Cathy Come Home. The artwork known as the Chandos portrait, which dates from the beginning of the 17th century, is commonly held to be a painting of which famous English dramatist?
Shakespeare.
Yes. In basketball, how many points are awarded for a successful long-range shot?
3.
Yes. What strait, named after the navigator who discovered it in 1606, lies between Australia and New Guinea?
Cook.
No, Torres Strait. Polly Peachum and Lucy Lockett are among the main characters in what 1728 stage work by John Gay?
Mac the Knife.
No, the Beggar's Opera. What word is used to describe a piano which, unlike a grand piano, has its strings arranged vertically?
Baby Grand.
No, upright. In German mythology, the term Götterdämmerung is usually translated as twilight of the what?
Bats.
No, gods. What was the surname of the brothers George and Richard, whose Bourneville chocolate factory was opened in a rural area just outside Birmingham in 1879?
Cadbury.
Yes, what large British water bird, often seen with its wings outstretched to dry after fishing, can be distinguished from the similar-looking shag by the patches of white feathers on its thighs during the breeding season?
Tern.
No, it's the cormorant. Sally, you just had the one pass in the name of a measurement of the heat content of fuels. The letters BTU stand for British Thermal Unit. And at the end of that round, Sally, you now have a total of 22 points.
Thank you.
What an incredible race. Let's have a look at the final scores. In fourth place with 19 points, it's Matthew. In third place with 20 points comes Susan. In second place with 22 points, but one pass, it's Sally. And in first place with 22 points, but no passes, it's Martin, which means that he goes through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to him. If you would like to be a contender in the next series, please go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and you can follow us, of course, at Mastermind Quiz. Join us again next time for more Masterminds. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
I'm feeling a bit shell-shocked. I didn't expect that. A lot of those words I was actually speaking out loud for the first time ever, and I wouldn't be a Spanish speaker.
The Vuelta a España was co-founded by Juan Puyol, the director of which newspaper?
Informaciones.
Yes.
Juan Jose Cobo.
Yes.
Vincenzo Nibali.
Yes.
Obviously, it was tight at the end there, with the pass and things like that, so I was kind of glad I had chosen to avoid passing at any cost.
What word from the Latin for sap or juice is used to describe plants that have thick, fleshy leaves that usually grow in semi-arid climates?
Deciduous.
No, succulent.
That answering deciduous, I knew it wasn't right, but it seemed to have worked out okay for me today anyway.
In second place with 22 points, but one pass, it's Sally. And in first place with 22 points, but no passes, it's Martin.
I actually thought Sally had got it. So it was a genuine shock, the fact that that happened. I'm still trying to process it, to be honest.